What is going on? Welcome to College Football Kickoff Show, Week 4. I've got to find a way to get that down, that title there. But hey, it's going to be a great show. We got Fitz with us, back-to-back college football shows with me, Fitz. I'm feeling some type of way. We're heating up here. I love it.
I'm liking it. It's going to be special.
Yeah, that's right. And then the one, the only, Raphael, baby, from my bookie. We're glad to have him, baby. He's back. Raphael, I got to take the whole blame here. We kept like, hey, we're going to have it Saturday, and then schedules kind of get mixed up and all types of shit. And then game day comes to app. A lot of things happening. So I take the blame. We haven't had you on in 2 weeks here, but I'm glad to have you back.
You just called it game day was in your backyard and couldn't even get the cover.
Yeah. All right. You didn't have to. We talked about this before we went on. You didn't have to salt in the wound, but yeah, that's fair. All right.
To Troy, to a bunch of condoms.
Rat poison, man. They were magnum size. We couldn't handle it. All right. Anyways, we still won, so life's good. We're moving on. Hey, this week we got 12 games to pick. We're gonna talk about coaches getting fired, and we're talking a little Heisman favorites. I'm excited that you two are on here because I love your all's takes on it. We're gonna start with the firings here. Herm Edwards done, out at Arizona State. Scott Frost out in Nebraska. That broke last week, but Herm Edwards broke Saturday. Literally, as he coming off the field, pretty sure he got fired jogging off the field. Are we surprised Herm Edwards is gone? I know we're not surprised Scott Frost. We've talked about this before. What's your all's takes?
Frost, no. I thought maybe Herm Edwards was at least stick for the whole season, but I guess when you lose to EMU at home, then I think that you had to make that change. And, I mean, there's going to be a lot of other ones, maybe not just during the season. There's going to be a lot of big jobs, I think, opening for college football. I think there's two names that everyone's going to want, Matt Campbell and Deion. So those are the two names you're going to hear. I'm going to add another one. What's his head coach from Carolina Panthers? Those three names.
Matt Rule.
Yeah, Matt Rule. Those three names you're probably going to hear because let's face it, I don't think Carolina's going to go anywhere unless for some odd reason they make the playoffs and we're only in week 2 or week 3. But those are three names you're going to hear in college football are those. And if you're Deion, let's face it, you want the Florida State job. But you're not going to get that Florida State job only as Jackson State on your resume. I think he needs another school underneath his belt. Georgia Tech is another job that is probably he's from played in the Atlanta area, played for the Braves, played for the Falcons, so he can probably recruit there. I would think look for those two, but not shocked for Frost, but a little shocked on Herm Edwards. But I guess when you lose to EMU at home, you're gone.
Yeah, and your record's 26-20. Like, not a great record, 1-3 in bowls. That doesn't help either.
No, especially when Pac-12 is trying to go to either the Big 10 or Big 12. That's not good for your resume.
Exactly.
I didn't even know Herm Edwards was at Arizona State. I just
really?
learned that about 2 minutes ago.
Hey, he's still celebrating from that big Packer win on Sunday night.
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah. To me, I was kind of in your boat too, Raphael. I thought maybe he'd make it at the end of the season, but I guess with the investigations coming down with, Antonio Pierce being the linebacker coach there, and then some things came out that he said and was doing and breaking rules there, and Herm Edwards let it slide. I guess losing to EMU at home, last straw for Herm. Potentials to fill these jobs. I think, Raphael, you kind of hinted at it. Do you see Matt Rule, Matt Campbell, those guys taking these jobs, or do you think they're going to hold out? I know you said Sanders is going to hold out.
Maybe Campbell might not, but I think Matt Rule will probably go back to college if he loses his NFL job. I don't see him getting another head coaching job in the NFL. There's other names that are out there. Maybe even Cliff Kingsbury could be coming back to college football if he gets gone in Arizona. So, like I said, there's going to be interesting jobs that are open, and there's going to be a lot of interesting names applying for those jobs.
Absolutely. Luke Fickell, Cincinnati's head coach, University of Cincinnati. Do you see him making the leap from little old Cincinnati to Arizona State or Nebraska? He's always a name that comes up every single year making the leap.
It all depends on how they go. If they sticks around and plays well and gets to another higher bowl, I'm not saying a top 4 bowl or something, or a New Year's bowl. If he sticks around and stuff like that, why go? Because you're moving into a new conference probably. So you got that. It's not like you don't want to step backwards and take Nebraska and Arizona State. Those two ain't going to win a championship or higher bowl games. I think the only one that might be interesting is Georgia Tech. I mean, let's face it, the ACC is not the creme of the SEC and Big Ten and all that. They can maybe sneak up. And again, I think Deion Sanders fits perfect at the Yellow Jackets.
I actually love that pick a lot. And then you bring Calvin Johnson as your wide receiver coach.
Yeah. Just
for namesakes. I'm here for it. Fitz is shaking his head no, but I love it. Fitz.
Like that boy don't want to coach.
No.
Your head coach over in your guys' backyard could be picking up some names as well.
Sean Clark, yeah, he could. He could. I don't see him leaving. He's an App through and through. He played at App, coached there forever. I don't see him leaving, but you never know. Money talks. That's right. Money talks. All right. Let's talk a little Heisman odds here, and it's changed since we first talked about it. Caleb, golly, I have messed up all along. CJ Stroud had led the Heisman talks all season, or the first 3 weeks. All of a sudden, Caleb Williams have jumped up, and they actually just flip-flop positions. Now, Caleb Williams is plus 250. Caleb Williams is plus 250. CJ Stroud plus 350. I got to get the right graphic up there. What's your all's takes here? Caleb Williams, USC quarterback, getting that nod.
I could see that. I understand that. But Bryce Young, who's playing another cupcake team this week that could probably throw for 4 or 5 touchdown passes, keep an eye out for him. But I understand about Caleb Williams. USC is just playing some outstanding football, easily blowing out every opponent. Had no problem with Fresno State. Should have no problem this week either. So they're at Oregon State, which is weird. It's hard for me to look at an Oregon State team, USC, and the number is only 6.5. Normally, you play the Beavers and you're double digits. That was kind of interesting. But I have no problems with those three. Dylan Gabriel, I think 25, 26 to 1. Could be interesting in the mix if you can just get to the dance and be the top 3. You can maybe hedge off on that if you have a nice 26 to 1 ticket, 25 to 1, whatever.
Absolutely, you can. He was right there that cut off where I wanted to make my list or not.
But yeah, I think the top 2, top 3, Stroud, Williams, and Young, those 3 are going to battle, especially in the next couple of weeks because they're not playing the elite schedule yet. But I think down the road, you'll see someone pull away and someone fade.
Absolutely. I think you'll see a lot of breakaway and separation there. Benson Stetson from Georgia has been crushing it, and he's made a bump in numbers to get that Heisman favorite as well. Fitz, what's your thoughts?
Yeah, I was about to say, I think with Georgia being as dominant as they are, I feel like they probably need a name kind of represented at the top. But then for everyone else, it's just kind of like who's in the shuffle. Like, will USC work their way up to the top 4? Clemson, I know they're not showing a lot offensively, but, can a defensive guy kind of sneak in there? So I'd just be kind of curious as these teams start to separate at the top, who are the big names? Because I think right now it's still too early to tell.
Yeah, I agree with you 100%. If gun to your head, someone gives you $1,000 to put a bet on somebody,
I'd take. I think it's Stetson Bennett. Is that our Georgia guy? That's who I'd take. Yeah. I would take him.
I like it. Raphael?
I wouldn't, because I think their defense is going to wipe out a lot of Heisman hopes. I mean, only giving up 10 points in 3 games. I mean, I'm sorry, that's not Bennett doing it. That's their defense doing it. And everyone thought they're going to be rebuilding on their defense because they lost so many people. So I think their defense could probably overshadow him. I think it's going to be between Stroud and Bryce Young. I think it's going to be those 2. And for some reason, maybe if Caleb Williams and USC continue to win, I still think Utah nips them. I still think Utah wins the Pac-12. I think it's just between Stroud and Young.
Hey, I don't hate that either. I'm going to put my money with Caleb Williams, though. I mean, he's with Lincoln Riley. The guy wins Heisman's every single year, it seems like. And so he knows what he's doing. He knows the numbers that they need. That's who I'd bank my horse to. It's not really Caleb Williams. It's more the coach, Lincoln Riley, that I'm putting my horse to. A little sleeper. You tell me if you like this or not. Hayden Hooker from Tennessee. Quarterback has been moving up the charts. He's at plus 5,500, I believe. And he's gotten Tennessee to some relevance. This is a big test this week. I think if he can dominate Florida, he might spring up in the top 6 or 7 conversation.
What school does he play for?
Tennessee.
That's what I thought.
Yeah, okay, fair enough. I thought that was coming. Okay. Hey, let's get into our picks here. We got 12 games. We'll start with Thursday. We got 2 Thursday night games, 1 Friday night game, and the rest is Saturday. I love having Thursday night college football after the JV game. You come in, get to watch it. Life's good. Get ready for Friday. We're going to start with Tim's favorite team, the Beach Chickens. Coastal Carolina, Chanticleer is taking on Georgia State Panthers. Over-under set 64. Not Charlotte. Coastal is a 2.5-point favorite. Both these teams have some leverage to get in the Sun Belt here. Coastal has not played a true test yet. No disrespect to our military academies there. They just have no true test. Georgia State, a little bit tougher of a road, but they've only lost 1, 2-1 versus 3-0. What's our takes here?
I kind of lean towards the over because you said that the Chancellors have given up tons of points. And I'm going to throw that. You said no disrespect to Army, but preparing for Army, Navy, and Air Force, that's a totally different animal. So if you can win that type of game against either one of those three, that's a big notch underneath your belt. Because like I said, it's hard to play those type of three teams on how they run their offense. Wasn't really sold on how they played Buffalo, especially in the second half. I like the Chancellors. They're 3-0 against the spread. They're perfect 3-0. Even though Georgia State has played some monsters, and they let Charlotte score 41 points on them. I don't like them. Give me the Chancellors.
This one's tough just based on the 2 different schedules, but I do think Coastal, they kind of have their foot on the gas, so to speak. Just this is their first true test, if even it's that. Their experience, they're going to be trying to battle with App State. I think they handled them pretty well. So yeah, I'll take Coastal.
Man,
road team 5-0 against the spread in this series.
Oof. I love that history. I love those picks. I want to say it's a trap game for them. They're thinking Georgia State's 0-3. It's in Atlanta. Who cares? They played tougher teams though. You guys sold me, though. I was ready to go all in on the Panthers. But listen to you guys. I'm going Chanticleers here. I don't think they're worried about Southern. I think they're going to take care of business in Georgia here. All right. Our other Thursday night game, Battle of Virginia's, West Virginia. Virginia Tech, over-under set 52.5. West Virginia, 2.5-point favorite. They're not scared of Enter Sandman here. What's your all's pick?
You know what? After they lost to ODU, I'm like, oh, it's going to be a long season. But I like how they bounced back and beat BC, and they outran BC, which is very hard because the Golden Eagles, that's their bread and butter, is running the ball, and they got outrushed on them. So I think ODU is going to be a thorn in a lot of people's backs all season long. I'm going to say VT and Metallica.
Ooh.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. With West Virginia's schedule, they lost to Pitt and Kansas, and I actually like both of those teams. So I think those are decent losses. Virginia Tech, I mean, I'm with you, Raphael. I was like, if you're gonna outrun a college team, outrunning Boston College in their last grade running back being AJ Dillon. I mean, I feel like that's something. But I'm gonna take West Virginia. That's just a gut. Just based on, I do think Kansas could work their way up in the rankings, and Pitt's been solid too. And I thought those were 2 really close games. I'll take West Virginia.
Yeah, to me, once again, we got 2 different tells of schedule. I feel like ODU, no slouch, I agree, but I think West Virginia's been tested more often. You got JT Daniels there at quarterback, former Georgia. Give me country roads, take me home. I'm taking West Virginia to kind of get an upset here at Virginia Tech. I think it's one hell of a game. And talk about the spread real quick. Virginia Tech hasn't got above 35 points. I don't think West Virginia has scored less than 40 points in a game, or minus the Pitt game. They scored 31. I apologize. I don't know if I'm touching the spread. I don't know what I'm getting. Raphael, any advice here for the spread?
The spread or the total?
Sorry, the total. That's 100% my bad.
It came down. It's opened up at 53. Now it's 51, 50.5. So I think it's going to continue to come down because Virginia Tech pretty much has said this already. We're going to control the ground game. Yeah. So that's just right there. They do not want West Virginia's offense. and you said former Georgia. Why is he a former Georgia? Because he couldn't hack it in Georgia. So, I take the rushing attack.
All right. Hey, I like it. I'm sold. All right. Moving on to Saturday action. Let's stay in the state of Virginia, except we're going to go up north. Virginia Cavaliers taking on the Cuse, the Orangemen. 54.5 to over under. Cuse, 10.5-point favorite. When's the last time Cuse has been 3-0? Life's good. Cue the Adam Sandler Big Daddy movie.
I agree. That's why I like the Cuse. And this total, 54.5, is the exact same total if it was college basketball. So I'll take both of them. So I think I like Syracuse. They're playing some really good football right now. And their defense is really, really good. No one's talking about their defense. A lot of big stops in the red zone. I like the Cuse, especially coming back from behind last week. That was a great game last week. If no one watched it, you weren't watching it because you were watching Troy outmuscle you, get a touchdown after touchdown.
All right,
so,
we won. All right.
Well, this is one of a few. There's a handful of basketball matchups, so to speak, where teams are actually undefeated at the top. So
Kansas,
this is one
Duke,
of them.
North.
Yeah, I know. So this is one of them. Virginia and Syracuse. I do think Syracuse is stronger, but this should be a pretty exciting game. And I mean, I don't know. Virginia just barely escaped ODU by the skin of their teeth last week. So that's why I'm just giving Syracuse a little bit of the edge in that one.
Yeah, I'm with you. I think we're all here, especially it being in the Carrier Dome. That place has been rocking all season long. I feel like you got Garrett Schrader at quarterback throwing 8 tutties, 0 interceptions. His QBR is out the roof, it seems like, for a Syracuse quarterback. 177, 152, and 177 again. Man. Give me the Cuse. Give me the Orangemen. All right. This game, big implications here. Maryland, Michigan. Maryland, 62.5 over under. Michigan, 16.5-point favorite. Who are we taking?
I think these numbers are just way too high. I like how Maryland battled back and forth all last week, got the win, got the cover. But I know Michigan was giving up 17 points in 3 games. Their offenses look lights out, but they were at home. They played UConn. They played Hawaii and Colorado State. And again, they were all at Ann Arbor. I like Maryland to come. This is a Big Ten matchup. It's not like they're going to blow them out. I think if Maryland can control the running game like they did last week and maybe have Michigan, I think Michigan wins. Don't get me wrong, but I just think the number is way, way, way too high.
Yeah, this is my second basketball matchup, so to speak. More of like a late 90s or, like the Fab Five, and then the Gary Williams Maryland team was one of my favorite all-time teams. Juan Dixon, Chris Wilcox, phenomenal team. But
great backcourt.
I was tempted. Yeah. Oh, phenomenal. I was tempted to put this as my upset pick. I don't think Maryland's going to win. Like, I do think they're going to let this go at some point. But 16.5 points kind of makes my mouth water a little bit, but it's still not enough. Like, I think Michigan wins by maybe 3 scores here, like maybe 21 points. But it's going to be really close to that spread. So I'll take Michigan. Should be an interesting one to watch.
I was going back and forth all morning long about this, and earlier on this week. You got Lua Tua. Lua Tua is doing his thing. He sees his brother in the league throwing tutties left and right. He's trying to copy him. I like the way Maryland's playing. They're 3-0. Now, yes, the only team they've truly played is SMU, and that's been the closest game. Michigan hasn't played any real contenders at all. I mean, UConn, like Raphael said, just nobody, a bunch of Joe Schmoes, but they've been doing what they're supposed to, blowing those cats out. It's in Ann Arbor. I'm riding with Jay Gray, her sip of death.
No.
Give me Maryland, the Terps.
Oh, man.
Baby. I love it. I just think this is a dangerous game for Michigan. Give me the Terps.
It is. The only thing is I know how Harbaugh operates. They'll blow it later on. Like this, it's not now. It's going to happen in like 4 or 5 weeks.
That's probably true. But when in doubt, if you're scared, take the spread.
It's going to happen like the Iowa, their next game where it's going to be like a 6-0 or 6-3 game.
Oh, yeah. That was terrible. What, 6-2? No tutties?
Yeah.
Oh, terrible. All right, let's move to the ACC here. Formerly where Maryland was resided at. Clemson, Wake. Both these teams ranked. It's the first time they've been ranked in meetings to each other since early 2000s, I believe. I could be wrong there. Clemson, 7.5-point favorite. Over is at 55.5. This is in Demon Deacon territory. Who do we take?
I don't like the spread itself, but I think we're going to see a lot of points scored. So I'm going to take the over. You can get 54.5 in some places. I say Wake because I think people are going to think that this is the same Clemson defense we've seen in years past. Winston's not. So I like the over. I think we're going to see tons of points scored. I mean, they scored 48 last week against, I think, La Tech. We know Wake Forest is going to put it up there. They put up a 40 mark against Vanderbilt. Granted, that Vanderbilt is now is a low end SEC team, but still an SEC team. They put up and they went in their backyard and put that big number up. So I think a lot of points scored. I like the over.
Man, I'm taking Clemson on that spread. Like that's Clemson to win by 8 points is all you need. Yeah, I think Clemson dominates this one. I mean, I like Wake Forest. I think they can make it interesting. But Clemson ends up running away with this. Again, this is how Dabo Swinney operates now. Just talk about Harbaugh, but Dabo, he'll take care of the ones where it's like, oh, Clemson, could they lose it this week? He'll take care of that like it's nothing. But then I don't know who they face, Boston College or Syracuse or somebody later that's gonna upset their party. So or give them the biggest, the biggest scare. But I think they take care of it this week.
Man, Jay Gray said she's nervous for this one. She wasn't going to put it sip of death because I think her bias won't let her say Clemson's going to get beat. But I'm here to say it. Wake the nation, baby. Give me Sam Hartman. I think this is the game that's going to put him on some big boards like Mel Kiper's and say, hey, he can win the big game for you. Give me Wake Forest to win. Taking a lot of dogs here today. All right. Baylor, Oregon State.
Iowa State.
Sorry. My graphic was a little bit small there for me. That's what she said. All right. Here we go. Baylor, 2.5-point dog on the road. Over-under is at 46. What do we say?
Man, I still don't like the way they played against the bicycle helmets. I mean, they looked really bad on that game. I know it was at BYU. It's hard to steal a place when everybody's in white or white and blue and the black helmets are sticking around all over the place. So it's very hard to concentrate on that game. But I like the way Iowa State. I mean, coming back and beating your arch rival Iowa. I mean, granted, it was a 10-7 game, but you had to go to Iowa to win that game. Mm-hmm. And then everyone's like, oh, they beat Iowa. Look out for the Bobcats. Bobcats can snip them and make it a hard game. They didn't. They put up points really quickly and beat them by, I think, 30 points. I like the Cyclones team. I like them big time on this game.
Man, I'm surprised. See, I thought Baylor was going to be favored in this one. I don't like that Iowa State's favored now. This is a tough one. I'm going to take Baylor in this one. I think we've gotten a little bit carried away with Iowa State. I don't think Iowa is nearly as strong this year as maybe they've been in past years. And, I think BYU probably gets more credit than Baylor is for tanking. I think BYU is a good team. And, they only lost by 6. So I'll take Baylor in this one.
Man, you guys don't make this easy for me. It's 17 Baylor traveling in. I like Decker's, Iowa State's quarterback. I like the way they throw it. They throw the ball a lot better than they run it. And for that reason, I think they're going to have a bad day in there. I think Baylor's defense is going to suffocate them, and they're going to be forced to run the ball. So give me Baylor. I think Baylor can run the ball better than Iowa State. All right, the other basketball match. Who would have thought we'd say undefeated Duke traveling to undefeated Kansas in a game that could have hosted College Game Day, maybe. In an alternate universe. Wild scene. Over-under set at 64.5. Kansas, 9-point favorite against the Blue Devils.
I'm going to take the team that did not win just one road game, but back-to-back road games. And not no schlums. West Virginia, Houston. I mean, I'm sorry. That makes our locker room play a lot harder, make you practice a lot harder. You come out with your chest pumped up. You're at home. You're ranked. I'm taking Kansas. I really thought this one was going to be like around 10, 11, be bet up a little bit, but I'm actually shocked at single digit. And I think it's going to continue to come down. I think Duke money is going to come in, thinking Coach K is going to be on the sidelines coaching this one. I like Kansas.
Yeah, I like Kansas in this one too. Raphael, you nailed it. I mean, there's energy happening in KU right now. Rock Chalk Jayhawk, no longer on the court side. He's on the sideline. So I like Kansas. They're leading the Big 12, and I'd like to see them just keep running with it. I had hammer the over on this matchup. And I mean, 64.5, it seems like a lot, but both of these teams have been putting up points. I mean, even if Kansas puts up 42, you just need Duke to kind of get like a 24-point game. And both teams have been putting up a ton of points. So, ideally has the potential to look like a basketball score, maybe like 50-40, something like that. But even if they're both kind of under, I think there's still enough scoring that over should hit. So I'll take Kansas.
Hey, I don't hate that take at all. I'm taking over too. I mean, Duke, you beat A&T. A&T, no slouch of an HBCU. They beat Northwestern University. And they beat Temple. On the other side, Raphael, like you said, going to Houston, going to Morgantown, and getting wins when it mattered. They're trusted. They're true. It's at home. Rock 'em, chalk 'em, Jayhawk, baby. Give me Kansas. Game day game of the week. Number 20, Florida. Traveling number 11, Tennessee in Knoxville. Tennessee, 11-point favorite. 62.5 is the over-under. Been a long time since Tennessee has beaten Florida. What's your all's takes?
Well, my take is different from a lot of cappers in this game because I think I ever said it on your show. I have Utah going into the Final Four in college football. Yes, I need Florida to win some games. I need Florida to win some big games so that loss that Utah has kind of boosts them up. I need Florida to go to Tennessee and wipe out that orange and get the big road win. So my Utah loss looks a lot better than that. So I have no action on this thing. I have to root for Florida every time they play because I still think Utah runs the table. So give me the Gators. The Gators win by 6 touchdowns.
Now, see, I thought Florida could be favored in this one. I thought they could be a 3-point favorite. So Tennessee, 11 points. I don't like that at all. That's way too many points. I like Florida. I like them straight up. They're a hard-nosed team. Tennessee, I mean, they did play Pitt. They won by a touchdown there. But other than that, I don't know. It's going to be a battle. It's going to come down to the wire. I like the Gators.
Getting out of the swamp is going to help Florida on it. They played 3 straight road games after they beat Utah. Everyone thought the Kool-Aid flavor, and then they lose to Kentucky. And I think they overlooked the Bulls, knowing that they had to go on the road to play Tennessee. So I think Florida makes this a lot closer game than what the odds makers are telling us.
I like that take a lot. Last time Tennessee beat Florida, they beat them by 10 points. That was 2016 in Knoxville. Rewind the clock even farther. 2004, that was in Knoxville. Won by 2 points. Give me the Tennessee Volunteers. I think they're finding a way to get the job done. They're beating the Gators. Grill them up. Put the Old Bay sauce on them, baby. Give me Tennessee to win. I think Vols Nation needs it, especially after baseball season. All right. Our hometown team, backyard team.
Oh, here we go.
JMU traveling to Boone, traveling to the Rock. Over-under set 59.5. No game day. No rat poison for the Mountaineers. At 7.5-point favorite. JMU undefeated, though. First year in the Sun Belt. This is a test. What do you think?
I'm taking the plus points here. I like JMU. They recruit well year after year after to get these kids to go there with where some of these kids can go to a better school. I'm not saying they can go to an SEC school, but they stole a lot of kids from Missouri. They stole a lot of kids from a Florida school, UCF, and all that. To get them to go to JMU and stick there, now they're getting benefited to playing top-notch teams. I think this number is just way too high. I think App State wins it. I have them winning by like 4 points or less. But I like the plus points of the Dukes. I just think the number is way too high.
Yeah, so had to read the JMU Sports News. It said, quote, JMU will blow out App State. That they are feeling confident, which I hope that is bulletin board material in App State's locker room right now. I feel like we had our scare in Troy. I think we all kind of saw that coming. Like, okay, we've had our emotional highs. Now it's going to come crashing down. But then we have the Hail Mary. And so now we have another emotional high. And it's like, okay, is JMU going to steal the thunder? I like it, though. It's Blackout Saturday. The one problem I could foresee, JMU, they got a young receiver, Chris Thornton, that I think he could give us some problems. But I think if we can get a pass rush going, kind of stabilize him, and just limit some of his plays, I think we should be fine. There is a nightmare scenario. He just goes Justin Jefferson versus the Packers on us and just like has like the game of his life. But I think we should be able to handle it. It's at least a close game. I hate the spread. JMU could easily keep it closer than a touchdown. But, yeah, you got to roll nears at this point.
You can have your Chris Thornton. I'll raise you a Christian Horn, baby. Give me App State. I mean, this scares me, though. JMU is coming off a bye week, so they've had an extra week to prepare. They put up 107 points and only let up 14 points this season. Now, yes, they played Sisters of the Poor in the blind school for weeks 1 and 2. With that extra bye week, they're getting ready for App State. Can we get lucky again? Give me App, but we're going to roll. We're going to win. I'm just not touching this game. You never bet on your team that you love. And
JMU thinks they're going to blow us out.
Yeah, hopefully
that's just a recipe for disaster. That's all I'm saying.
And App State said they were going to blow out the Trojans last week.
Technically, we never said that. It was Lee Corso.
That was Lee Corso. No chance. No chance. Give me Yosef.
He knew better because I think he had a ride on his hands. Anyways, 15 Oregon. Traveling to Washington State. Oregon, 6.5-point favorite. 57 is that over. 57.5 is the over-under.
I like Oregon. I think they learned a lot from that Georgia beatdown. We saw the speed last week. BYU had no answer for their speed on this one, and I think they're going to have Washington State's going to have no answer for their speed on this one. If Washington State had trouble with Wisconsin's speed in that ugly game, what are they going to do with the Ducks with their spread offense? Even though I know this game's in apple-eating country, but I'll take the Ducks on this one. I was really impressed on how they bounced back from that beatdown last week.
Man, all right. So Washington State, they beat Wisconsin. They've been getting after the football. They generate a lot of forced fumbles. They haven't been recovering a ton of them, but they just attack the ball carrier like nothing else. And that's the one chance they have is playing against Oregon. If they can get the ball from Bo Nix and just limit the possessions for the Ducks and then just take advantage of it, I think there's a chance for them. And, yeah, I think because of that, I need an upset. I'm going to take Washington State just because of their tenacious defense. I think they give Oregon some problems.
I don't hate that pick at all. Old ball coach over there, Washington State. Pretty damn good at what he does. Coach Mike Leach knows how to throw it, knows how to run it. Give me Oregon, though. I'm with Raphael. You got embarrassed week 1 against Georgia. You came back, you embarrassed Eastern Washington. Cool, whatever. But then you beat BYU. That's a huge win. That's a huge confidence booster. I think Washington State maybe keeps this close, but I think Oregon finds a way. Give me Oregon money line. I don't think I'm ready to touch the spread there. The over-under, though, I think I like the over here. I think both teams are going to score.
Yeah, if I had to choose, I would probably take the under because if you're Washington State, you need to limit the possessions that Oregon's going to have. So you're going to want to run the ball and make sure their offense is on the field with their tablets trying to work it like Tom Brady. So I think the under could be a play here.
Ooh, okay. So you're taking opposite of me. You know what? That makes sense. All right. SEC country. Arizona, Arkansas, number 10, coming in to Texas A&M, the Aggies. Aggies 2.5-point favorite. Over under set 49. Max Johnson, friend of the show, Brad Johnson's son, getting the start back-to-back weeks. What do we think?
I want nothing to do with that. Aggies won last week because Miami couldn't catch the ball. I don't know. I couldn't. I lost count of how many drop passes the Hurricanes. Was there a hurricane on the field? Was the wind blowing too hard? Is that why they couldn't catch the ball? And I would love to see Arkansas knock out this. Everyone fighting with Texas A&M, with Alabama all summer long. This would be fantastic if Arkansas stays perfect 4-0. I think this could be a competitive game. I kind of like the over in this one. I think we can see a little bit more points. I know Texas A&M only scored 17 against Miami. Couldn't score nothing in your guys' backyard against App State, or some at home against App State. I think we see a little bit more SEC type of game here. Arkansas has been putting up a lot of points, so I thought the 49 was just a tad low. I thought it was going to be like 51. But I want nothing to do with the Aggies. I would probably look at the plus points with Arkansas State if it goes to 3.
Man, I'm surprised A&M's the favorite in this one, but I like Texas A&M. Max Johnson, hopefully he can have a better second start for the Aggies here. I was going to shout out A&M's running back, Devin Akane. I hope I'm saying that right. But he's just a really elusive guy. He had the one touchdown reception from Johnson last week. Just no one can tackle this guy. And he almost reminds me of like a Cam Akers was in his college days. Just kind of like a sneaky, elusive back who might go like second or third round, but then be kind of productive. So I just kind of got an eye on him just this year. And I'm just not sold in Arkansas. And I think it's purely it's my South Carolina bias, just because I think the Gamecocks are terrible as I tailgate there every weekend. And they only won by 14 against them. So I'll take A&M.
Yeah, that South Carolina game worries me too, but you got KJ Jefferson at quarterback. I really like the way the junior's been playing. He's got 770 yards this season, 6 tutties to only 1 interception. I like the way he's been throwing it. Then you got Raheem Sanders in the backfield, 66 carries, 440 yards, 3 tutties, reminding me of maybe one of the greatest to wear an Arkansas jersey, Darren McFadden. I think a young McFadden. He kind of reminds me of the way he runs hard physically, and he gets to the edge and he's gone. I like the way Arkansas plays. And because the bias of them being Cincinnati, give me so pig. Give me Arkansas to win. No disrespect to the Johnson family. Brad, we still love you. All right, final game. I gave a lot of West Coast love this week, Raphael. You can't crack on me this week. All right, I think I gave you 3 games. That's a lot for me. All right. Fight on Trojans, number 7, taking on undefeated Oregon State, the Beavs. Over under at 71. USC, only 6.5-point favorite, though. We kind of touched on this early on in the episode. What do you think?
Yeah, until someone tells me anything different or slows down USC's offense, how do you not continue to ride them? I mean, they look phenomenal against Fresno State, especially in the second half where they adjusted their offense, went a little more spread. The tight ends were key, especially in the fourth. They look really, really good. And Oregon State, I mean, like I said, they used to be the cakewalk of the conference. They've been playing very, very competitive. They also beat Fresno State. So it's going to be a very competitive game, but I just think too much offense and too much speed on USC's team. I think they win and cover. I would not be shocked if they win by 10 points.
Yeah, stakes are high for Oregon State, but I think the stakes are higher for USC. They are trying to get back in that picture. And yeah, they're humming this year. So yeah, go Trojans.
Yeah, there's a lot of talk. USC's back. The Trojans are back. Matt Leinart days, Pete Carroll, Reggie Bush. It's trying to bring back those glory days, and you're doing Caleb Williams in that offense.
Don't forget, last year Oregon State beat them badly. Like it was like 45-20, 45-21. So the revenge factor is also on that. It's a totally different USC team, but some of those players probably still remember.
Oh, they kept receipts for sure. They're ready to get the lick back. Yeah, give me USC. I think that turnover chainsaw kind of stays on the bench there for a lot of it. I think Caleb Williams knows how to lead the USC Trojans down the field without turning the ball. So give me the Trojans to win. Over under, I don't want to touch it. 71 points. That's a lot of points to be scored. Yeah. I think it's possible, but I don't want to touch it. Hey, that's it for the show, guys. I can't thank you guys enough for joining us. Tomorrow night we have our normal episode 119 of Pub Sports Stuff. We had a little flipperoo scheduled there. That's just the way it worked out. We got DeAndre Dingle Prince from At State coming on, so he can correct some of the salt that Raphael's been throwing in our wounds.
JMU. JM.
I love it, man. Thank you so much for hopping on with us, Raphael. And next week, hopefully we get you back on. Fitz, we keep 3 weeks in a row rolling, and we just keep growing this college football show. I enjoy it. Thank you guys so much.
Take it easy, guys. Have a great evening.
See you next
too.
week.